Good morning, my friends. Coffee Talk. Easter Sunday. Guido coming at you from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic with an old school. You can't get them these days. Guido mug. There
Yeah.
it is.
We'll
Old
make
school.
another run, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make another run. We'll get new ones out.
Get the new ones out. That'll be cool.
Gators here, Wayne's here, Brute Boss. Poor old sod. Wayne, Odd Dog. Right on. Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. All right, so tanks and stuff, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tanks and stuff.
Let's do tanks and stuff.
Channel news. Channel news is I finished the 703 version 2 for 100 battle challenge. 56%, something like that. Currently trying.
Which isn't bad.
That's all right. Yeah, it was the standard. I get to the end and I try to rush through and it goes poorly. But all good, man. So that one's got 100 battles laid on it. I don't know. I've called it overpowered a lot, but I didn't really feel like I was overpowering stuff much with it.
Would you think when it first came out it was overpowered and now it's just not?
I don't know, man. It's a good question. I'm not sure. So I'm already curious with the old tomato.gg. Where does it exist in Tier 8 heavy land? Let's find out. Get the, where is it? LB. Chrome, there we go. Let's find out where it exists in Tier 8 heavy land. Well, it's pretty good. It's 4th in Win 8, and it is 6th in win rate. So I overperformed compared to these things, but not as much as I would have thought.
Okay. Like it's got to be. I mean, when you say win 8, it's all about the double barrel. I think it's the ability to put a second shot down. I think not so much to the win rate, but certainly, I think it's the ability to within seconds. If you're doing the peek and poke and you've got under the reload of the other guy, you can put 2 shots into him.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity, yeah, absolutely. If you have the opportunity to put both those down range, but it's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it. Well, see again. These are all feelings. Where's the 56? The Skoda is actually, well, it's 2nd in win rate. The Skoda is the T56,
Right.
but it is worse in win 8, but not by much. We're talking all in the 1500s, so it's not.
Okay.
I guess the point of it is they're both top 10, and really realistically both top 5.
Yeah.
Tier 8 heavy, so they're both good.
Yeah.
Regardless of who you are, anyway. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to it's the Easter show. Later on, Pilgrim will have a bunny suit.
I will, and I will be demonstrating later on. Stick around. I'll be demonstrating the art of making tea the English way.
Okay.
Not the tea bag way.
All right, I forgot about that. That's going to be it. So, here's a tangent number 1. Cue up tangent number 1. And at the risk of insulting some of my friends out there, my friend and I went to the pub yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, we did. We went to Tom's Hot Dogs and had some really nice American hot dogs with chili and cheese on them. They're delicious. And then we went, the bar was just there, so
As it is.
yeah, we had to go in there and have a thin one, which we did.
Good.
As we were going there's a big field out in the back, down by the water, down by the bayou, as they say. And there's a ton of people out in it, and the guy with a bullhorn, and they're all wearing bunny ears and tutus and stuff.
Are they really?
And I didn't think a lot of it because I'm like, oh, they're having an Easter egg hunt. Cool. And as I went by, I'm like, well, where's all the kids? There were no kids.
All right. I'll see where you're going with this.
I am all about, obviously I play video games and make content about it, so I have a little bit of inner child going on. What is with the adult Easter egg hunts?
I think. Well, here's my tinfoil hat. Here's my theory. I think it's either the Grand Order of Buffaloes or the Masons deciding to have a secret meeting in that field, wearing their bunny suits.
No, because as we were in the pub, quaffing our thin one,
Right.
telling stories, only 10% of which were ever true, which is the the correct story to truth limit is 10%.
Yep. It is about right.
Probably the same stories he and I have told each other 52 times, and are polite enough to just act like it's new every time.
Yes. Always.
They started filtering in because apparently that particular event had ended. And as I was looking around at those people, I said, if you asked me 2 hours ago before I knew this, the question, here's a group of 100 people, pick out 20 of them that you think would go to an adult Easter egg hunt. I'm pretty sure those are the exact people I'd have pulled out of that lineup.
Yeah. They have a certain look in their eye, don't they?
Now, I was hoping to avoid this subject with this story because I figured I could get away with it, but poor old Sod has sort of gone there for me.
He has, hasn't he?
He makes a valid point. I cannot answer the question. It is a valid question.
Yeah.
It is a valid because I'm pretty sure that if you'd asked me to pull out 20 people of that nature,
Yeah.
they'd be a lot of the same people.
Yes, I think they would. Oh, dear.
Oh, no offense to... Well, I guess I just... it's like, with all due respect.
Oh, yeah. With all due respect.
No offense to Group X,
his own.
but you're about to offend them.
Yeah, each to his own.
Yes. Anyway, they ran through the field and they got eggs. And now the saving grace was it was put on by the brewery down the road. So
Right, okay.
hopefully...
So was there a free pint of beer with every
hopefully
egg?
they all enjoyed a nice beer and had a good... It was a lovely sunny afternoon, so they should have had a lot of fun. Hopefully they...
See, that's the question. That's a question I asked you earlier on. How long does your chocolate eggs last on an egg hunt outside in Florida? Like 12 seconds?
You got to do it fast. Yeah, you got to do it fast. Yeah. Elon Musk says that's right.
Elon Musk must be 43 billion.
Support free speech, support Guido's channel.
Yeah. For 43 billion, I'll support anything you like.
Man, if he offered me $5,000, I'd sell this place in an instant.
You are cheap, sir.
I mean, you'd see me disappear off screen so fast, like a cartoon, a piece of paper would flutter down.
I'll be saying like that. Where's he gone?
There you go, Elon. I'll sell this channel for actually I'll sell all of 1212 Gaming for 50 grand. What do you say?
There you go. It's a deal. Let's do this.
There's actually some code that goes along with it, such as it is.
Well,
I mean,
there are
a couple. There's a couple products. There's the intercept thing. I should show that one day. It's been a while since I've done that.
Did we get these? Did we get these?
Oh, he can have all the cups.
I've got all that as well.
It's a whole warehouse of mugs that he can have.
Yeah, I'll get my wallet now. Let's have a look.
Actually, that's false advertisement, Elon.
Look,
I don't have.
That's what I'll give you.
Eric.
The Queen. I'll give Her Majesty.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want the deal to fall through because I lied about a warehouse of mugs.
Yeah, you get sued by Elon.
There's like 3 or 4 in all of captivity, and I can't. They're privately owned, so I can't promise you Pilgrim's mug. I'll give you mine. You can have my mug. I have one.
Yeah, you can have Guido's mug.
Yeah. Wayne will do it for
20 bucks.
a share, Wayne. A share. 20 bucks a share.
Is that the Queen's head? Is that 20 bucks? £5? Yeah, abouts, isn't it? You know.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Where were we? We talking tanks?
That's a fairly epic rant / tangent early in the morning.
Yeah.
Early in the stream. Let's see. What are we doing? Okay, 100 Battle Challenge did it. I'm working on Mission 8. I'm using the Tortoise. If you go over to Incoming's channel, he does talk about Mission 8. Some of you guys were doing some of that off of the video I made and he made. Again, credit to Incoming. These are his ideas, not mine. I wish I was that clever, but I am not. However, Mission 8 is the crit mission, and it's making me want to get my eye poking stick out. All right, so I'm not talking about self-harm. All right, this is a figurative thing. We're making a joke here. Relax. But I just crits
Does it make you want to pull all the hairs out of your chinny chin chin?
That would super hurt because I got a lot on there right now.
There is, yeah.
It definitely made me go after the ones in my
Oh yeah, those ones. All
my
the ones
old
with the
man
nostril
ears.
makes
What
your
is
eyes
up? Why
water.
did they just
I
like
don't know. They appeared in my ears about a year ago. I'm like,
a
what?
year ago?
What? Yeah, what's them?
I must be significantly hairier than you because it's been a long time.
Well, I'm a hobbit. Yeah, I'm a hobbit. I'm only hairy from here down.
It's on the feet. It's down on the feet.
On the feet, yeah. I have hairy feet and a hairy ear.
Bitwise, back to tanks. Dude, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Well, let's jump over to the garage because I want to just talk about that for a second.
Well, why are you doing it with that then? Why are you not doing it with something that can?
Okay, well, back to incoming. So I was jumping all over there a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got a video, and he actually got it done with this tank, the Tortoise, the Tortoise.
Right.
He used a combo of Hesh and APCR. Initially, when he mentioned it, he didn't give me the full details, and I figured he'd just use Hesh. And in the back of my age-addled brain, I was remembering that HE did a lot of internal stuff, but it doesn't anymore. That's changed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would probably use the Arty that I was using and just bomb
Yeah.
people and get it. So that's off the table. And then I'm like, well, Hesh must have a special mechanic, which it doesn't.
No.
Ish. It does do.
Oh no, there is a slight difference.
It does the spalling thing.
Yes.
So depending on where you hit, you can. Like he shows it. Say someone's side scraping and you have zero chance of a pen with your APCR or AP. You can chuck a Hesh round in there, and if it's a light enough armor, you can get some of that internal spalling thing going on.
Yeah.
And potentially, if they miss the saving roll and all this other stuff. So I think Bitwise mentioned that particular M26 option, the Pershing on stream. So there's a possibility. And that's kind of what's going on with the Tortoise, because it shoots every 5.55 seconds, and its gun is larger, so it's got a slightly larger internal module damage, I think, than a 76 does.
Yeah.
But I haven't looked up those numbers, so don't quote me. Someone will fix me if I'm wrong. Anyway, the point is it fires a lot. That gives you many chances. So then you put Deadeye on your gunner. Now, I wanted to show you this because I am doing Mission 8, and this is the closest I've got so far. And I was really on track. I have 4 battles left. You got to do it in 10, and you need 25 crits. That's 2.5 a game, average. I was at 13 at 5 battles left, and I had a battle with 0.
Oh.
You know what it was? It was Malnovka, and I was headed up the hill, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to get a lot of shots, because a good push was going up the hill, right? And I could tell there were some pretty good players, because we had Chieftains and some other meta tanks, and they were all together, and it was a big push. Well, guess what happened?
They flanked you.
No, absolute steamroll. I couldn't keep up.
Oh, you're joking.
Right. So I'm like, no, slow down. Stop beating them so fast.
Oh, leave some for me.
I mean, I'm halfway up the hill, and they already have it. Like the other team sit like 3 up there. We put nobody was at base. A Charfucher went back in another medium.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think 2 Charfuchers went back and so they sent one guy who was kind of goofing around, and then the team just flooded off the hill in mass. I got there just as because they stopped, right? They're peeking a little bit, and I just went.
Yeah.
Because there was
there
was one chieftain still holding out on the backside, so I just went because I have got to get hit, so I'll eat a shot. Well, of course, I ate a JPZ shot. That was fun. Yeah, like 1,200 hit points gone. So I shoot this guy a couple times, and he dies, and then they flood down into the forest, and I bounced a shot off of a TVP 50/51, which is, I'm like, Anyway, long story longer and boringer. I got 0 crits on that battle.
Wow.
So I'm sitting.
So that's knocked you up to, you've got to get 3 or 4 then to finish off.
Right, so I need 12, which is going to be 3 a battle for the last 4 average.
All right.
So I need a big game, like a 6 or an 8 or something. So on Incoming's video, that's what he had. He had a couple big games. He had like 1-0 game and did the rest. So Bitwise, I'm with you. It feels impossible, but this is the closest I've been. Thank you, HR Raymond. Much appreciated for the 100 bits. Right on. Part of the problem is
that is awesome.
Today, man knocked on my door and asked for a small donation towards local swimming pool. I gave him a glass of water.
Brilliant.
The first step of any long journey is the first step, right? Here's your glass of water. Good luck.
Yep.
Part
Here's
of the
some
problem
chlorine.
now is you need HE rounds to pen to really do it. Well, I don't think, Diablo, I don't think HE does that anymore, even if you pen. I don't think that. I think it works. Doesn't it help me out there? I think it works like an AP round on pen anymore. Basically,
I think you're right.
it has a line in it.
Yeah, the hash will do the spoil thing, which is possible, but they HE no longer.
Well, I think the HE does spalling too. So one of the points that Incoming had was you actually don't want if you're trying to do it that, you actually don't want a pen to get the spall,
the
spalling
exactly
thing.
Yeah, you want to, because if you've got to do crit damage, you don't want penetrations, do you? No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, HE does not do more. That's right. So anyway, it's kind of a rough one, really. At the end of the day.
You see, I don't think they've rebalanced those particular missions based on what they've done
of
with the
course not.
ammunition.
Why would they? Yeah, why would they even do that?
They
They're waiting for the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Waiting for the numbers.
Yeah.
Which is an excuse for
numbers.
we don't want to deal with that particular thing right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are they hidden, Bitwise? Are they hidden? I thought they were published. I thought the module damage was published somewhere. Don't know. I do, Diablo. I have so that's Dead Eye on the gunner, so I recommend that. I have that absolutely on my gunner. And that's one of those things, once again, just the more shots downrange and the more hits you get, the more chances you get for a roll, basically.
Yeah.
Tanks.gg has them, that's what I thought. Yep. All right, so cool. So I'm still working on that. Next stream will be Friday, guys. Expect that on Friday. Any time I have between now and then will be another one. All right, so here's a little channel news. Pilgrim and I'm going to get DayZ, and he's going to teach me how to play DayZ. So we'll do some content on that.
Cool.
And we will have some shenanigans. Eventually, once I get competent, we'll go do some PvP and get waxed by 14-year-olds. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we'll start with PvE.
Yeah.
Although it's hardcore PvE, i.e. there's not much in the way of loot and stuff like that, so you've got to work hard for it. It gives you a flavour of the map, it gives you a flavour of the gameplay, because to just walk into PvP without that, you're dead within 30 seconds. You've got, as you said, a 14-year-old will sit in a bush and wait for you all day long because he's got nothing better to do, and they'll just shoot you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we got to learn, HR. We got to learn. Now, come on. You can take a one-eyed fat man. You got to be careful. You can't just go run around against 14-years. You're going to get 360 no-scoped.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that means, but my son says it. I sort of know what it means. All right, awesome. So that's channel news. Coaching available as always. Guido Grind is my code. And missions and specials. It is a zombie game, Wayne. It's a survival. It's more so a survival game than a
survival
zombie
with
game.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, and if it's PvP, it's survival with zombies and 14-year-olds.
Right. First lesson, DayZ. I've heard that one.
Trust no one, yeah.
Pilgrim, actually tell them the story, because that was a great story.
Oh, when I went into the barracks?
The door.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I went into...
the barracks. Save that one for at the end, the barracks one.
Okay.
Do the door one. Do the door one.
Do the door one.
But save the barracks one for at the end.
Okay, all right. Well, the door one, I went into this military camp. Those that know Namalsk will know this. The map Namalsk has a huge radio antenna beacon with a military camp around it. So I entered into this military camp, went into this building, and as you do, you use your military skills. So I'm like, as you do close quarter battle CQB, when you come to a door, you're lined up, so you take a little peek and you kick the door and you have a quick look and then you dip back. So if anyone fires, you know there's in there. So I sort of snuck up, did my military thing, did a quick peek, kicking the door like that. The door shut again. I thought, well, there's somebody there then, isn't there?
That's not a zombie.
So I'm ready with the old flashbang and everything else to do the door in and just take it out. kicks the door, and then this female voice went, "Please don't kill me. I've only just started playing this game, and this is as far as I've ever got." And I was like, I can't kill a woman. I can't. I said, "Right, come out with your hands up. I want to check this out." So she, like that, come out. I went, "Go on your way. On your way. I can't kill you."
So the first thing I thought when you told me that's a great story. But when you were telling me and then you told me that there was a voice, immediately where I went was, there's a 50-50 chance this person comes out and shoots Pilgrim in the face.
Yeah.
Some kid has made a woman's voice to disarm our hero, and our hero's going to get shot in the face, and then the guy's going to run off laughing.
Yeah. It did cross my mind, actually. I thought, shall I just flashbang her anyway? You know what I mean?
Nope. Yeah, HRA was more like 80% chance. Yeah, there's great videos on YouTube about all that stuff. You watch some of that, just some of the interactions between players. You know, people. I'm. What is? They're like, I'm friendly, and the other guys, I'm friendly.
Yeah.
Of course, they both have weapons. You know, I'm friendly. Then one shoots the other one in the face. Like, jeez.
Well, the other one is that they'll put the pin on the grenade and hold it in the hand, and you don't first see it, and then they'll run up to you and go, "Friendly," and they have this hand up in the air like that. They go, "Friendly, friendly, friendly." You go, "What, he's not carrying a weapon, that's fine." They drop the grenade, and they run off, and you go, "Shit, grenade!" Boom, dead.
Yeah. That's kind of a limitation of the perspective in video games, because with periphery and with your natural eyesight, you can take in so much more. You'd unless they were holding behind their back, and then you'd notice that, right? You'd taken those cues, but depending on where you're looking in a video game, you may not see other things going on that you would.
No, it's terrible.
Can you play? Can you play DayZ in VR?
Oh, I don't know. I've never. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, Arma 2. Yeah, Arma 2. Well, DayZ is Arma 2, but the ongoing development of Arma 2. Yeah.
Has it actually shifted to DayZ, or is it just the Arma 2 bones?
I think you can download
Is it just
Arma
the bones
2.
of? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can download Arma 2 and play it separately, because that's more of a platoon game. You sort of get, a group thing, and it's more like that. And it's less about survival; it's more about killing things. Yeah, it was a mod. DayZ was a mod of.
But now it's a standalone, right? It's a completely different development.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, it is now.
All right. Well, it's time.
Is it time?
Time to show.
Here we go. What have we got in the market?
A couple things,
today?
actually, my friends. A couple things for sale that are perhaps. What just happened? Nothing just happened. That's what happened. All right, there we go. A couple things that are perhaps interesting to people in the premium shop. Shill on, my friends. Shill on. So, speaking of, there's the 703 version 2 that you can buy. That's
yes.
That's the code, by the way, and the code is, I don't know if I said this, but the code is Bunny Hunt.
You didn't say it, but you said it now.
That's Commander AF's code, Bunny Hunt, 703 version 2, and a mission. And some other goodies. But you can also buy it. Unfortunately, it's packaged with a bunch of stuff. So.
Well, she did say something about a discount, didn't she?
Yeah, it's discounted. 30, 15%.
No, but if you do missions, you get some form of discount as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she rattled on about it for a bit. Yeah. You know how she does.
I have a coupon. Oh, but I can't use the coupon. That's too bad.
Oh.
It's discounted for me 15% for whatever reason, down to $62. 63 actually, 62.99. So that's out there. We've got some other tanks actually that you guys might be interested in. The LT-432,
nice tank,
which is a pretty good little light tank. It's really a pretty good medium at times as well.
Yeah,
can swing to that roll pretty easily. The Suma is up. You can get that without all kinds of things attached to it for $42. The LT-432 is $28, and then the 274 Alpha is back, and I thought that was going to be kind of a monster in the game. Let's see where it ended up, because I gave it a pretty good ranking, and I was a little different than other people in terms of that, but I wonder what the truth of this thing is, and it looks like it's okay. Top 10?
It's not. Yeah, it's not. I personally expected it to be a tier 8 430.
So did I. So it's not in the top 10, but it's just outside of the top 10, so it's pretty good. Yeah. It's doing well.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere where it really excels and kind of jumps up? Not really. It's kind of hanging down here in the 12th position or a little bit lower. So top 15 for sure.
Yeah.
Not a bad little tank. And then remember this? Remember the tank they were never going to sell again?
Oh, that one. Yes. Yeah. Well, you can get 3 different versions of it. Marvelous.
I mean, I know that's old news, right? That's a complaint from a long time ago. But man, this company sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was that special. It was considered to be so rare in the game, and now everybody's got one.
Well, they stopped
I've got
selling
one.
it at one point and said, "Well, we will not sell this anymore because it's too overpowered."
Yeah.
But that's years ago, and that they just every time they make a statement like that, you can't believe it.
Yeah, you just go,
Because there's
where's that salt on? Need a pinch of.
There's no proof or history of them saying something like that and keeping to their word.
Yeah.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
Well, yeah, you can probably guarantee that it's going to.
You guarantee.
Yeah, the minute they said that, you go, "Oh, it'll be on sale next week." Then I'll just wait.
The only one that's come close is the Type 59.
Yeah,
Although they have
a little bit.
Well, but even the 59, I don't remember the last time they had it for sale. It was a while back. They have had it available for various things,
Yeah.
boxes and crap like that. But anywho, there you have it. The E25 is out there. The E25 is not nearly what it used to be because of the rest of the game. But if it's top tier and you're at the end game and he's got hit points, you're probably in trouble.
But it is the fear factor. Initially, when this came out in the game, it was the fear factor because it was such a fast reloading and sneaky because you can actually camo that up better than a light tank. You certainly can. But now the fear factor's gone. That and people will take it on. I mean, I had that with an EBR.
Yeah.
Let's go and do him with the EBR then. Flopping him with HE all day long. It was fun.
Yeah, the 59 was recently for sale. Yeah, but it had been a long, long time. Since they had just plain sold it out there.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't show up that often. That's probably the only one's even close to doing what they said they would do. But they've sold it, so that's the opposite of what they were going to do. Premium count, nothing going on there. Vehicles, I think the same stuff we just talked about. The Suma's pretty. I kind of like the Suma, but it's limited in flexibility. If you can get that gun working though, it will drop a lot of pain on people. Has a long reload. 244 we talked about. Some of the usual suspects in here. Specials.
All the same though. The specials.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff, guys. So I think the big news really is the E25, the 274 Alpha, the LT 432, and the Suma, along with the 703. Those are all solid premiums if you don't have one of them, and are still in the market. All right. Remember.
Yeah. Platoon of E25s is pretty frightening still, says Rigger the Singing Tanker.
Oh, 100%.
You're quite right. I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
Tack Rose is in the house. Good day.
That's one of those meme platoons you put together with 3 good players and just freaking terrorize.
The number of times we've had a platoon of a light, a medium, and a heavy, and can't get into a game for minutes and minutes. I mean, that's a standard makeup, isn't it? Really, a platoon, a medium, a light, and a heavy. I mean, you probably get a better chance. In fact, I've seen a platoon with an arty and a light.
But the problem is that the matchmaker tries to match platoons. As close as they. So you've got 3 different classes. Other platoons generally play the same classes usually. Tanks that can work with each other.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's
not surprising that a mixed platoon like that has trouble getting into a battle. Rarely do we time out though. It's only if we do something like 3 lights.
We haven't. I think once we timed out. We had 3 lights. Didn't we? I think that was once.
That's not unusual because getting 3 lights in a game is actually fairly unusual. Like most of the time.
In a platoon, yeah.
Yeah. Extravaganza, just SA. This can be sold. This particular decal.
Oh, thank goodness.
There's also these other ones.
Sold.
All these can be sold as well. I don't know what's going on with this because 7 a day. I see what's going on with that. Okay, now I understand because I had it completed. I bet it's actually reset now.
Yeah.
See, there's my name. I'm supposed to have drops, but they don't work.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But it's not happened, and nobody can fix it.
Speaking of, well, I don't know. Does it show drops now, guys? Probably doesn't. Does it say drops enabled when you're watching right now?
No.
Let me know in chat. Those are all, I believe, sellable though. So if you want to, I actually put this one on the tortoise because at first I thought it was an angel, but it's a, I don't know what it is, an angel bird griffin thing, something, I don't know. I was
angel bird griffin thing.
Yeah, I was looking for some divine assistance on my mission.
Oh dear.
Junkers recommends platoons combine different damage styles. So, for example, big boom with a. Yeah, you can do that. Yep, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And if you are, yeah, that's actually pretty useful if you're running something with a big gun and a long reload, is to have something that can cover it while it's on its reload.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 platoon tortoise. That would ruin the gameplay.
We used to do AT-15As, the tier 7.
Yeah.
Get 3 of those. That's funny.
Yeah.
Because you can just go at them with your 3 shift, and you're just.
It's like a machine gun.
Oh man, the amount of shots going out from those things is ridiculous.
Oh, 3 togs. Yeah, we've done that before, Rigger.
Yeah, togs are good.
We've done that, haven't we? We've done the togs with the socks.
Yeah.
As the camouflage, the sock camouflage.
Wolena, what's happening? Hello, welcome. So there's a. Go ahead. Wolena.
No, so I was saying hi to Wolena. He's my Daisy clan leader.
Oh, right on. We were just talking about it.
We were talking Daisy.
I'm gonna download it and give it a try, man.
Quinn's in the house. Hello, Quinn.
Quinetic, my friend, how are you? Let me.
Yeah, Wolena. Guido's gonna try Daisy out, but we've sort of figured out to do PvE first rather than we do PvP. So yeah, we'll be coming onto the grumpy old Norwegian server at some point, mate.
Running simulator, yeah. Check out Quinetic's stream. You can see the link right there for Quinetic's stream. Rigger, thank you so much for the cheers. Much appreciated. Welcome everybody. Let's get to the right spot here. All right. There's a sheriff event going on right now, so I don't know if you guys have run into any, but there's a bunch of people running sheriff accounts, so you can grab some gold with that.
What's it called? It's called Bag of Bunny Boiler, isn't it?
No, it's Bag of Bunny Boiler.
Oh, is it not?
No, it's called Bag the Bunny Edition.
Does that not translate across the Atlantic then?
Bunny boiler? You like cook up a bunny?
No, a bunny boiler.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, in the UK, a bunny boiler is a lady who likes to frequent many, many different men. Okay, sorry.
How does that even make any sense?
I know. Does it have to?
No, I don't. Well, sometimes you can sort of connect the words to the thing, but that's just completely random.
Got it. You only bag bunny boilers in nightclubs.
Somewhere around 3 a.m.
Yeah, about then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's a tangent. I went to Hull a long time before I was married. I went to Hull on a course. I was in a course when I was in the army, and we went out to a nightclub, which was a former cinema converted into a nightclub.
Oh yeah.
And there was about 7 of us. We all went off to night out with the lads on a Friday night. I was about 17 and a half, maybe 18, whatever. Don't forget, you can start drinking at the age of 18, and I did look 18. So anyway, blah blah. So Quinn will love this. So we were up in Hull, and there was a nightclub called the Black Lightning, which was this converted cinema. So
the Black Lightning.
Yeah, the Black Lightning.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect place to find a bunny boiler.
Absolutely,
I'd say.
yeah.
Right.
Well, anyway, long story cut short, we couldn't get in because the doorman said, "Well, actually, at the moment, there's a male strip show going on, so it's full of women watching a male strip show. But you can go to the bar upstairs. I'll give you a shout when it's finished, so you can come on down." Well, of course, if you've got male strippers on the stage and you've got like 300 women, all they're all obviously very happy at this point. So we get called down about 10 o'clock at night. Gets in there, and of course we all bag off with these bunny boilers. We decided to go to the chippy first, as you do. So we went to the chippy, and I got this lady on my arm, and we're walking down, and all the rest of it. And then the bright neon lights of the chip shop shined across, and I looked across, and she was a 70-year-old fishwife with no teeth that I couldn't see in the nightclub. And I went, I'll buy you some fish and chips, and then I've got to go.
So she got dinner out of it.
She got dinner out.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Quinetics got it, and that's kind of what I was sort of thinking. But so it's a fairly recent term then, because it's a
Yeah.
it's a reference to Fatal Attraction. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
The famous I don't know if it was actual scene. Was it a scene where she boiled the bunny, or was it just alluded to? Yeah, I don't remember if they showed part of. They didn't obviously show it boiling, but I think they showed the idea that she did that to the bunny.
Right.
How did we get off into Fatal Attraction?
I don't know. I don't know. Can we get back on?
Let's move back over to the lights. Can we move back to the straight and narrow?
Oh dear.
Let's just walk away from Pilgrim's Chippy.
Chippy. Oh, God.
All right, where were we? Where were we before we were so unfortunately sidetracked by Pilgrim yet again? 11th anniversary stuff is going on. Season 18, for those of you who like Clan Wars, that's coming up. And that's pretty much it, man. If we head over here to the client, which we shall do as soon as I find the button, and we go to Missions, anniversary special. Is this is the one that, is it any tank or is it yeah, this took a lot longer than I thought it would, actually. And it ends today, basically.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I was going to say it ends today.
Was this one limited by tank type? Did it have to be American or British or something? I don't remember how that went. I don't think so. It's everything, right? No, it's everything.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it's everything. This just took a long time. So you can do 5 of these in 24 hours. That's 25 per day. Then you can get 3 more of these. So that's another 15. It's 40 a day, right?
Yeah, 40 a day. That's how I worked out.
And you need 245. Man, you got to be on it. I only got 90.
I don't know where I'm at with it. To be honest, I haven't checked it.
That's pretty grindy, actually. Grindy. Anybody finish that thing?
Grindy. I don't know. Has anybody finished? How can you finish it?
Have any of you guys finished?
Oh, okay. HRM's ended it. Wow.
HRM got it. Okay. Anybody else? Penetration task was many tanks. The hero tank was only whatever path you choose. Janko Brett. Okay.
Oh, got ya.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
can actually, Quinn. You can buy it. You can buy the gold. You can buy it for gold in game. Yeah. Get 110 points. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you can. Oh, you can buy it for gold? Is this in the store? Battle Pass. Good day, good week. How do you do that? Fire and style, blah blah blah. 40 point. You can buy 40 points a day. How do you do that? I'm so confused, man.
Well, it is. It's not, as usual with Wargame, it's not clear, is it?
You had to focus on the selected time. I don't know. I'd never dug into that, so it sounds like you guys are all over it. So if you've come here for information on how this mission works, it's...
No, you can grind the 40 points a day. You can't buy it. You can buy the tank for gold.
What tank?
Whatever tank Quinn's talking about. You can buy a tank for gold in game and get 110 points.
I think we're talking about many different things. It's 40 a day, is that right? Yeah, 15. So 25 and then 15 for 40 a day.
40 a day. Oh, okay. Oh, when you buy...
Okay, Quinetic, now I'm tracking. They were selling them
it.
and they had points with them.
Yeah.
I didn't see those. Why did I not see those?
Yeah, got you.
Do you have to buy them from...
As a package.
Do you have to buy them with gold to do that? That's crazy, dude. I don't.
Yeah,
Why do they do these things? It's so
well, you know why?
convoluted.
Because everybody's still sitting on $1 million from Christmas, so they're trying to get rid of him. So you spend more money. They're making you use your gold up.
Well, and if you've got those tanks, if it is truly for in-game, for buying them in-game, that's crazy.
Yeah, if you've got them, that is crazy.
Yeah, Eighth Hustlers, thanks, man. He just sent me a note. Yep. And, well, so he's talking about the Hesh slash crit thing. I did find that once I started firing AP and APCR, I was getting more crits. It's just that the Hesh, if they're presenting you with something you can't pin, you can switch to that and still have a bit of a chance. Like, is basically the gist of it.
Yeah.
So, if you find yourself in the position where you're not going to get a pin, you can still keep dropping rounds downrange with the Hesh in this thing and have a small chance of still coming up with some crits, especially if you're hitting weak spots like hatches and viewports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
There's people who's finished it. So like going back to what we were saying about the other thing.
Well, it ain't easy now.
No, it's not easy now.
It's not easy now, man. But I'm close. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. This is the closest I've been so far. So, all right, that's pretty much it. I think for missions and specials. I think we're going to move on to subjects du jour.
Yeah, before we do that, can we? It may well be subject du jour, but I just want a quick question. For 1.16.1, this highlighting of the tank mod that is now, well, not mod, but it's now part of the game, which is A, dumbed down the game, B, giving people easier shots, etc., etc. The question I've got is if in the graphics tab, if you remove the view of foliage and grass from the sniper view and things like that, surely that's going to give you an even better view of the now updated highlight the tank thing. It's going to make it so much more easy, i.e. more dumbing down of the game.
Well, I mean, that's always been in there, though. And what he's talking about...
But combined, if you combine the two now, do you not think that is just like, oh, here we go?
Well, it all adds together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is the foliage transparency in grass and sniper mode. I have grass and sniper mode turned off because I don't want that in my way when I zoom in. I have foliage transparency on so that I can have a better idea of when I'm hidden.
Yeah.
When I have the 15 meters I need to be safe to shoot, at least in terms of the guy I'm looking at. So that's how I have that set up. I will say that that new function, highlighting, whatever they're calling it, did help me out the other day on stream. There was one shot that I probably got only because I knew I could see him. In the past, you used to have to kind of hunt around. You had to have the right, mouse technique, I'd call it, to kind of move around till you got the highlight, and that might waste some time. And you still sort of have to do that because if you don't have it on him, it's not going to highlight. So if it's
not going to highlight,
right?
No.
But as you're doing your technique, when you touch him, you get a complete picture of exactly how he's oriented and the ground is oriented, or the cover.
Yes, so exactly that. So
getting back onto him is much easier.
Yeah, and you can see which angle the tank's at. So the chance of ricocheting off him is you can see how that looks as well. So Quinn's actually said a good point there. Keep the game going. I think it needs to be more pick up and play over a huge learning curve, which is off-putting to new players nowadays. I get that, and I think this is part and parcel of the influx of the new developers that they had from the old first-person shooter development teams, that they brought some people in. So I think that's an ongoing process, making the game more, I don't want to say easy, but more playable to newer players. Is that a word? More playable, more enjoyable, more, I don't know. Bringing new players in through a quicker learning curve, maybe.
Yeah, that's I'm going to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know if that's exactly how I want to term it, although it sort of is, because it's a bit of a tail chase, or it might even be more of a tail wagging the dog thing, because on the one hand, yes, it needs to be accessible and easier for new players to understand and come in. On the other hand, the more of this you have, the less interesting it is for the long-term players because there's less nuance and difficulty and things to know. It's very difficult to have very easy to get into and very high skill cap.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Twitch game.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then, but when you start having things like, more strategic elements like positioning, stuff that World of Tanks has, a bit of a slower pace, that's a hard one, man.
Yeah. Because, just as said there, you can't flatten the curve that much, can you? Rigger, the Singing Tank, is saying. And the same was what Diablo was saying. I actually agree with Diablo, is that the dot indicator of penetration, so it's green, I think it's yellow and red, is it not?
Yeah.
That is probably just as big as an effect as this outline thing is. When they introduced that.
I think Wargaming dismisses a little bit, especially the current developers. And since they brought in a lot of the FPS guys, I think they dismiss a little bit too much. Not completely. I'm not talking about revert to version 0.7 or some crap. That's not my point. But I think they put a little more, too much stock into this idea of we have to get it more accessible. This is a massively popular game, and it got here because of the game it is.
Yeah.
So
but it's still around.
It's the ride the horse. Here. It's not that's not to say you don't improve it around the edges and you make content and all that stuff. That's not it. But if you're dismissive of all the very difficult, interesting depth that the game had, and you try to get rid of that, you're killing off the thing that brought a lot of people here and keeps them here.
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion, keeps them here is the big one. Now people leave.
I think it is.
Plenty of people leave. Not everybody plays a game for 11 years like me.
No.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of points coming up now in chat, and Wayne's just hit the nail right in the head. It's got to make dollars for the company. So if it's making dollars, who cares? The bottom line is it's got to make dollars, hasn't it? So
Rigger, that's actually a really interesting point, and I think it's valid in part of the calculus of the whole thing. The Russians have a very different view of fair and whatever, that kind of American, maybe Western European idea that you want to have a balanced, fair game. I don't think they give two craps.
No, not at all.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Obviously, they probably want some balance. It's not a extremes thing, but culturally, there's not that general idea of, hey, we need to have this super balanced, fair game, and everyone gets mad if something is something's abused. And China's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're happy to pay $500 for a tank that just stomps the crap out of everything. They don't care.
They do.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. I think there's a very good point that's been made right the way through chat there, is that I actually play this game because it is hard. Because I have to learn. I have to go back and revisit things and learn from. It's because it's complicated, because it's a hard and steep learning curve. It keeps me interested. You can go. I mean, it's like, let's go back to DayZ very quickly. DayZ is hard in so much that if you're against real live other people doing all the things that gets done, but it's not hard to learn. You can get good very quickly in DayZ. You just need to, do your background work. With World of Tanks, it's so dynamic and it's so varied in how you educate yourself in the game. It is hard to get good. It is hard, unless you've got a mentor of some sort.
So
it is hard.
Quinetics comment, how many games can you count that are still relevant and played as much as what after 11 years without making changes to stay relevant?
Yeah.
And I'm going to parse your words just a little bit here, but I think it's an interesting subject in terms of game development. Because, as I just said, I think that the base bones of this game are extremely good, and it's what made it good. If you change that too much, it's no longer that game. But the counter argument, one of them anyway, Quintic kind of bring up there is, as gamers' proclivities change, you need to sort of adjust with that. And I'm not against 100% making your game better, or even chasing a few of the trends or working around it. But I think you risk losing the soul of the design of the game by chasing that too much.
Yeah.
I still say it about World of Tanks. World of Tanks is the anti-FPS.
Yes, very much.
It is in its soul a kind of FPS game.
Yeah.
But it's not the spastic twitch, wherever my pipper is, that's where the shot goes. 360 no scope game. It has some of those dynamics, but it's kind of the anti that, and that base design of this game is, in my opinion, is what's made it last so long. Yeah. Because it's not flavor of the month FPS guy. How many FPSs have come and gone since World of Tanks came out? And is it so why do we want to try to move World of Tanks closer to the Twitch FPS thing when that was what was so good about it? The counter argument is, well, you gotta do something because you're losing players.
Well, you've got to say to yourself, just how much are they losing players? Because as far as I can see, on the NA server, the player base is fairly static at around 25 to 30k.
It is,
players.
yeah.
And it's the same with the EU, 100,000 on the EU, split between the different EU servers. But they give you the total at the bottom of your screen and everything. So I can't. They're not losing hand over fist thousands of players.
Well, yeah, it's been a slow like any game as it gets older.
Like any game, and maybe a drip feed,
Yeah, the player base does skew older, and what's kind of interesting is once you start talking about something that's lasted 11 years, you can start looking at your demographics, and you've actually then got, generational thing. People are aging into.
Yeah.
That game to some extent, right? Because somebody said, it's more accessible to older players. As older players, maybe in the FPS world, age into it, when you're talking something that's lasted that long, all of a sudden, maybe now you got people moving up in age that go, I'm going to move over there because,
it's a more it's a more suited to that particular person's sort of. My son's a prime example. He was alpha beta Destiny player. He virtually never does Destiny now. He does more World of Tanks. As he's got older, he's sort of slipping into it.
So it's still a market. And I've talked about it on this channel. It's kind of, for 1212 gaming in terms of the gaming side of it is skewed older. Talking about the older generation, older gamers, people who started gaming in the 70s and 80s like I did. And now younger people getting into their 40s, late 30s, 40s kind of thing, There's a market, I think, there for that particular group that it has, as gaming moves on, that has aged into that age bracket. Yeah. I guess my general point in terms of World of Tanks is I just want them to be very careful about all these elements they're bringing in so they don't destroy the core gameplay that made the game great. Yeah. There's a reason it's good. It is because of the core gameplay of how the thing is built. If you turn it into a very fast FPS shooter, which I think some in chat would argue they've already done to a large extent, then I think you run the risk of not appealing to the FPS guys because it's just not that, and losing the older guys and gals who don't want that.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah. No, absolutely. TL Wiz hasn't aged since 2014. I can believe you, sir. just to turn it around. Yeah, Cougar, good point. There used to be 2 servers on the NA, I get it, but what I'm saying is now it's balanced down to a point where I don't see huge numbers leaving the game. You'll always have that up and down, but generally the NA server sits around 30,000. I know they've lost a lot back in the day, and it's got to a point where it's sort of leveled out. That's what I'm saying. And Quinn's another good point there. It is it's like any game though, Quinn. You go in, you'll get Seal Club because there's people who sit down there waiting for you.
It's a fairly
what do you do about that?
It's a fairly particular issue of long running video games, of which there aren't that many of relatively in terms of games that are released. So it is certainly something that has to be looked at. I don't like the people running around Seal Club and the snot out of new players. At the same time, if you're not that interested in it, I guess I don't care if you don't get past the Seal Clubbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you stop the Seal Clubbers? Do you tell them they can't play it anymore? Well, now you've lost that guy.
Yeah.
Guy or gal. I mean, I don't know what
if you say to a player who has 10 tier 10s, right? You can't play at tier 2, 3, 4. They're going to go, well, sod that then.
Yeah.
There are sometimes you pop down to tier 4 in your own tier 4 for a bit of a giggle. You're not there to seal club. I sometimes play a tier 5 game.
I've said
You
that a
know,
lot. I
okay,
like all the content in the game. I think the game has a lot of awesome content, and the lower tier
yeah.
stuff are historical tanks. Generally, the lower tier stuff are stuff that really existed.
Using the old Shermans and all that
You
sort of
know,
good
yeah.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that it's become this thing that if you're a good player, experienced player, you're a scumbag if you play lower tier tanks. From
It has,
the
hasn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and from the point of you're beating up on new players, completely valid. From the point of there's
Yeah.
cool content, and I like the game, and I want to
Yeah.
play that tank. You know,
Yeah.
I guess there's a difference though between the guy that I found that had 25,000 LEF games or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah, but again, so what Wargaming have tried to do is restrict that, because what they've done is take a lot of um, the benefits, the equipment slots and all that lot away. So somebody with 50,000 battles can't just go down and flood it with credits and buy lots of directives and make his whatever it is, his tier 2 tank the best in the game. So they've tried to balance that playing field out. So the only difference will be skill level and crews, which is big. It's a big deal, but at least they've tried.
they made a move. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They did make a move there. I don't know. It's not. There's no one answer to it. Everybody's got. You can see in chat, everyone's got different thoughts and opinions.
Different
And I
thoughts
think
and
they're all
opinions,
valid issues. It is interesting to me
Yeah.
though in terms of this game because it's lasted so long that you now have some issues like that you may not run into for a lot of games.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think ultimately wargaming is making money, and the vast majority of their decisions have to do with that. And if it happens to coincide with good gameplay, then great.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
they ever do anything for money that's going to no kidding destroy the game tomorrow. We may have arguments that they've done things that have made the game worse, but ultimately, I think number one is money, and then gameplay at a close second.
Yeah, yeah. And that's business. You can't take that away. That's the way business runs. It
Right.
doesn't run as a charity. It runs as a business.
Yeah.
So if they're not making money, they're going to make decisions to make money. They
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sell the game.
Sell the
to
game.
Elon Musk.
I like
You
Mux.
could do. Yeah.
I like Mux.
Egon
Mux.
Mux.
Oh, he did that on purpose. I thought he just misspelled Mux, but he misspelled both Egon Mux. 50,000. I'll cash out, Elon. All right. What else, man? Let's see. So it's been quiet though. And this is actually all related. This whole discussion is related to the rest of most of the subjects du jour because 1.16.1 came out, guys, and I found it interesting that there were so many relatively large bugs in this release.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the highlights swapping colors. You'd highlight. I didn't see this, but some people would highlight a bad guy and it'd be green.
Yeah.
And some people would highlight a good guy and it'd be red.
Right.
There was, what else was there? There was, you know what? Let's table this. We're going to try to do this so that Pilgrim and I don't flood
No.
sit here having to take a leak. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Yeah,
Yeah.
Clinetic, we're going to hit that up. We're going to hit that up. 5-minute break, and we'll be right back, guys.
Cool.
All right, friends, we are back. Thank you. I hope you got your coffee or tea refreshed. Speaking of which, don't we have a lesson on tea making? Did we just blow past that?
No, that's a subject du jour. I've got a lesson on.
Let's knock that out, man.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah. Let's find out.
I thought we were doing issues with 1.16.1.
Oh, do we need to? Let's finish that. Sure. Let's finish.
These guys are talking about it. Morning, Geo. Morning, Cranky.
Yeah. So where was it? Quintic mentioned it. Yeah, the CS63 bug. So apparently somewhere in there, they managed to turn off the dispersion nerf when the CS63 was in its go fast mode. So it had its standard gun, which is fairly accurate when it's going slow. And people were raging around at Mach Snot, snapping stuff, shooting it, with close to leopard-like accuracy, going 70 or whatever that thing goes. How do people find that out?
I don't know. Why would anybody tell you? If that was happening,
Well, that's actually a great subject. When exploits and bugs are found, generally people can't keep their damn mouth shut.
No.
It's like criminals.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who robbed someone or, off someone or something is in the bar and he's bragging about it.
That's it.
People are just dopey. Sometimes it's just people, they just want to get the word out.
Yeah.
But for
doing
whatever,
the right thing, you mean?
and again, I don't know how it was found. I guess maybe somebody was driving it really fast and it seemed accurate, and they kind of looked at it and figured out that it was not. The nerf wasn't there when he was moving. I don't know. I mean, I assume so. A lot of people play it, so I guess it's not that amazing that somebody figured it out.
Yeah. There was also. Did they patch it then? Because I haven't had patch downloaded. Did they do it in the background?
Maybe it's Monday. Maybe the patch is. I thought they put a patch out, guys. Do you know? Anyone know if they put the patch out?
Nothing's.
I thought they put a small one out sometime last week. I don't know.
Okay, well they might have done, and I might have missed it as I opened the game up and didn't see it loading in.
Well, can you tell what patch you're on if you do the drop down here? We're on one. No, they haven't. 1.16.1. No, so
it'll be 0.2, wouldn't it, or something?
Yeah. So grab your CS63, dudes, and rage.
Rage. I mean, that's another point Six-Pack Daddy's making there.
I've heard that.
And artillery bugs. I've definitely had lag in the game.
Well, you take forever to load in now for some weird reason.
Yeah, it does take forever to load in. Even though I thought I'd cleared my cache, whatever you call it, and that was a problem, but it still takes ages to load in now. So
thanks, Gio. Give sub for Diablo. Yeah, the swapping setups doesn't work.
Yeah,
but you can use control or something. There's a key. There's a keyboard. The mouse doesn't work, but there's a keyboard command that does it.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay.
There it is. Gator's got it. Control 1
to stop.
Control 1 to stop. There you go.
Hey, Susan, how are you?
I hadn't checked. I hadn't noticed that, actually. I did have that one battle when we were streaming where I was on the wrong one.
Yeah.
I didn't have consumables.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say Control 1 and Control 2 on the page? I think it does.
Oh, does it?
I think it says right below it, doesn't it? Something like that. Press Control 1 or Control 2 or something.
Oh, it does say that. It does say that on the actual screen. Yeah.
It
does. Yeah, you're right.
So Wayne's having delays in the game.
Yeah.
CS53 bug. The outline bugs. So is that more or less? It feels like more bugs for a major release than I remember in the past.
Well, it's more noticeable. There was probably
minimap.
Probably just minimap.
Can't ping the minimap.
Don't work the ping in the minimap. Oh, okay. Six-Pack Daddy says his lack of skills failed to be corrected by the update.
I'm waiting for that patch, man. That
I'd pay for that.
Stupid patch. Also, I bought a premium and I didn't get better.
What's going on? I've got a defender. Why
I have 800 days of premium time. I should be 800 times better than I was.
Absolutely.
Total BS.
Wayne bought CC RNG directives. Apparently they don't work. That's because you're not a CC. You see, if you're a CC, they work for you. Check Guido out.
Yeah, that's why I'm so amazingly great. Yeah. So, is it a one-off? Is it possibly connected to all the crap the company's going through right now? In terms of,
perhaps
the
they
Belarus.
released the update without it going through its normal QC
Right,
quality
yeah.
control.
Or was it just not as good based on all the shenanigans,
Possibly.
Are we going to see this start to affect updates, as in things slowing down or maybe nothing happening? All
Well,
speculation.
no, I don't see why, because all they're doing is they are splitting the company, so they're moving the RU Belarusian game to a different company, and that's gone off there. The rest of it will remain the same with the same people, surely. The EU, the NA, the SEA. Surely they will have the same people doing the developing.
Rager, thank you for the 71 bits. Okay, so good comment, Pilgrim. Let's take a look at this, because there is a interview with a employee in the Belarusian in Minsk. Okay, so let's grab this, because I think this is pretty interesting, actually, what's being said here. Right on. Appreciate it,
bits
man.
flying
Thank you.
everywhere.
Yeah, thanks, man. So here we go. This is the article here. So they actually reached out to all the employees, and only about a dozen or 10 or so even answered. And of course, it's anonymous, so who knows who this is. Doesn't really matter. So they've been talking apparently since 2020. Belarus had some protests and other things going on, if you remember, in 2020. Apparently their income tax has raised from 9 to 13%. So there's some of that going on. So there's already some discussion about moving out of Belarus. They said that he says rally. I think what he means is a meeting. Basically, there is some interpretation stuff going on there. When I read rally, I'm like, why is he talking about a political rally? But I think he means meeting. So Lesta will open its office in Minsk, but is not yet known for sure. So that's a possibility. That's a Russian studio, I believe, Lesta.
Yeah, it is.
Did you name the countries where those who wish to stay in wargaming can move? The company, for example, has offices in Vilnius. There's another list down here of possibilities. I can't remember where it is. Lithuania, Poland, and Czech Republic. So there's offices in those places. Those are apparently possibilities for the workers. Now, we've talked about it. I mean, obviously, you're Belarusian. It's one thing to go, well, the company's going to move the office. You just pick up. He actually talks about it. You got families. You got all the things that go on with that kind of move. Will the relocation of those wish to take place centrally? He talks a little bit about how they tell them they want to move, and then if you read into that more, they're not taking every employee.
No.
Somewhere in there, I think he said the top employees, or the ones who deserve it, or whatever. So they're gonna do a rack and stack. Some people may just say, I don't want to move, and when the office closes, then they'll be terminated, essentially, or dismissed, is what he says in there.
Yeah.
So there's that going on. They're going to pay them stuff for, visas and flights and a month's worth of pay, which I thought was kind of interesting, because what he said, according to the experience of people who traveled earlier, the money can be comparable to moving money to a monthly salary. Depending on the salary, this could amount to $1,500 to $3,000. $1,500 a month. Now it's Belarus, so that probably works out for them. But $1,500 a month in a Western European country is nothing.
No.
It's not much.
No.
Not much at all. Of course, they're talking about going over to other Eastern European countries, so the cost of living would be lower. But I thought that's a little insight, actually, if you do the math, into what the pay scale is. So you got this IT development job, $3,000 is a top end, apparently, in that. That's Math in Public, $36,000 a year.
Yeah.
Which is, I think you almost make more than that in fast food restaurant in America with a $15 minimum
Yeah, exactly.
wage.
It's the same in the UK. I mean, that's probably manual labour. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
your IT guys are paid top dollar.
Yeah. Well, dude, not really. I mean, it's more than that, but I wouldn't call it top dollar. I mean, it depends on what you're doing, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's some lower level development jobs that you don't make a whole lot of money on. It depends on who you're working for and what you're doing.
There is a graduated scale then.
But this is low for definitely low
Yeah.
for Western Europe.
You've
But
just
again,
had
they're
a
not talking about moving to France or UK. They're going to Lithuania and some of these other places.
Well, I mean, that's the point. They can keep the pay scale at the same-ish level. So no great expectations, no great expenditure on that particular move. And there's some good points being made, actually, that a lot of this work can be done remotely anyway. Why do you need an office? You need an office as a
absolutely.
location,
Yeah. Well, yes and no. An office is nice because you get away and you bring your team together and you can work closely and together. An office is also distracting because there's the travel time and all the other things that have to go on at the office. I don't think it's necessarily it's better one way or the other. It kind of depends on what you're trying to do. That's just
I think a mix of both, especially with an IT type job. A mix of both is ideal because you can do stuff from home and then you might need to get into the office to do stuff.
If you're a coder cranking out code and debugging and stuff and you know the direction you're going, you can probably knock a lot of crap out at home because you can just get on it and there's you have to manage your own distractions at home. That's up to you, I guess. If you're developing new stuff and attempting to come up with ideas and formulate new plans and stuff, I feel like putting a team together in a centralized place like an office is a better idea.
You would do that. Yeah. There's nothing better than bouncing off other people directly.
And once you get kind of the marching orders and you farm it out to the coders just to nug out the code, some place where they're not bothered and they can get to it. However that works, that can be really well done at home. There's companies out there that manage coders like that from Central America, South America, from India, stuff like that, where they take what you need and they farm it out different pieces, and these guys nug out the code and then they put it together. So, and it's cheaper that way because they're at home and they have a computer and they know code and that's all they do. I thought this was kind of interesting here that Lesta Studio is a Russian studio, and he mentioned it up there. It sounds like they might be opening an office in Minsk. They developed World of Warships, so I don't know what's going on at World of Warships in terms of Wargaming divesting themselves from that. Where does the World of Warships development go to? I don't know. And this is talking about opening Lesta coming to Minsk, which is coming into Belarus, which Wargaming said will no longer work with people will no longer have a company or presence in Belarus and Russia.
Yeah.
But it's a tangled web, man.
But like Wayne says, what actually owns Lesta? They're just hiving it off.
I thought they they indicated they had divested themselves of it, that they no longer. I don't know. This is what we talked about last week. I don't know what to believe in all that. You can make a public facing statement that is technically correct, that isn't really the full context or story. That's in business. That's done all the time. You got holding companies. You got millions of ways to actually still own it,
and not still exactly, and recoup the profits. Exactly. I mean, Kofser makes a very good point. It's business, nothing personal. The whole business restructure thing. The crisis is a convenient opportunity to do something to make the business more profitable. There you go. You've had a couple of followers as well, which we just.
Oh, right on, man.
Tom Gusto was one, and then previously,
let me look over here real quick.
I can't find.
We got Grumpy Old Man with a cheer, 500 bits. Hey, thanks, Grumpy Old Man, much appreciated. Tom Gustav, Token Fire with the follow, welcome guys, and we had Rigger with some cheers, 2 cheers in a row. Thank you, Geo, much appreciated. We had HR Raymond earlier, Rigger again, and that's everything for today so far. So much appreciated, guys. Welcome to the show. We're just talking about right now kind of a combination of stuff. It really started with talking about 1.16.1 and then diverging a little bit and talking about what is the kind of the future of the updates. Where are we going to go from here? 1.6.1 seemed like something that was already in the hopper, and now we got this big change. And now we're talking about an article on the Armored Patrol where they interview somebody who's in the Minsk office, which I thought was pretty interesting. So here's another one. Are there those who have already decided they will move to Lesta? I haven't discussed it with anyone yet. Lesta Studio developed one of the Wargaming World of Warships. It's a Russian company. There's Russian leadership. I think this is interesting. It's on a slightly different ideological platform than the Belarusian Wargaming.
Is it really?
Yeah. It seems to me that people who are mentally closer to the Russians will go work there. I mean, that's fairly veiled. I think we all know exactly what he means, right? He or she means right there. It's perfectly rational and understandable.
Yeah.
Basically, obviously, if they want to work for Russians, then they might do that, And it is a subject across the board in World of Tanks because it's an international company. We've talked about it multiple times that the Russian developers and the way the Russians do this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're Belarusian, all right, but you get my point. It depends on the region and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about his colleagues, he thinks half will move. So he has friends in the Minsk office. They're probably going to relocate. Now they're talking to employees, listening to their plans, trying to help. Important goal in this case is to preserve the team as much as possible. That would be probably good for them.
Yeah.
This is good, though. I want to note that the company's words and deeds do not diverge. So that's a good thing to hear. They seem to be generally on the up and up and trying to sort this out as best as they can for their employees, and that's good.
Yeah.
There's two main options: dismissal or relocation. I mean, that seems obvious. You either move or the office is closed and you're dismissed.
Yeah.
Part of the team's regiment is simply entranced because no one expected this. Yeah, so that's a bummer. The team is obviously... I wouldn't be that happy about it. You had a nice job you liked.
No. Yeah.
Large percentage of layoffs. He says at least 50%. He thinks about half of them will not move.
Right. Which is to be expected anyway.
Yeah. Lithuania, Poland, Czech Republic are three places that he says are likely to relocate to. Readiness for relocation is a big question. This has been my point. In Belarus, there are those who did not have great opportunities to leave and live in peace, even on an IT salary. Reference what that really is, that number, which is not that high.
Yeah.
Which indicates that that's actually a pretty good salary in that place.
Yeah.
And I would believe it. I don't know what the cost of living there is or the standard income, but that sounds pretty good for there. As well as those who have strong ties with their families, but now the majority will probably reconsider the decision and leave if offered, which, the company's going to offer people that they want.
Yeah.
He has no ideas what's next. The colleagues, he says due to, but I think he's saying they don't know either. Relocation is an option. Obviously, conditions and location. It's one. I've said it 100 times. It's one thing to say, just move with the office and go with your job. Where is it? Do I want to live in that country? I don't. Who knows?
Never been there before. It's the whole thing. I mean, you and I have lived abroad. We've lived in different countries, and it's a big adjust, even when you're supported by your own nation, like in the military. But they're not in the military, so they're going to have a big adjust to move.
And imagine you're Russian or Belarusian and you're moving into one of these countries that's not so happy with what's going on. And while it's not your fault as a civilian, there's always going to be that kind of...
Yeah. Do you get rocks thrown at you in the street? Do you get people making comments to you,
Like, I don't even know how free the movement is between...
I don't know.
Say Belarus. Can you go across the border? I have no idea.
No.
So I wonder how that would work in terms of talking to their government and getting out of the country. Like, can they just get on a bus and leave, or do they have to? Who knows, man. And right now,
visas or things.
Right now, Belarus isn't. I'm going to say they're not actively.
Well, they're not. It's not closed. I don't think like Russia is. Moment. And I think Russians are leaving Russia. For whatever reasons, they are leaving. Says Wade.
Yet. So there you go. I don't know. More to come on that one. I don't know where, what that has to do with the game. Not it's a pixel tank game. So hopefully all the people involved get the best they can out of it. But for us, sitting around drinking coffee and thinking about What the future of the game is, hell, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, let it run its course and we'll see where we go with it.
Indeed. All right, so should we do... Let's do Numbers Are Fun real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do Numbers Are Fun. This was... I think it was on Two-Line Push. Yeah, it's down here. If you guys remember, we've talked about it a couple times. There's a guy on the Two-Line Push has been doing some analysis of numbers and things. And I know that we've looked at it a couple times and went, I'm not sure about that number or whatever. But this one cracked me up because it's a good indication of garbage in, garbage out. So let's come here. I'm not calling his article garbage. That's not what I really meant to say. But the number is suspect. Let's just put it that way. What he's doing, he's analyzing the same, I think, 60,000 or so replays. And here's where I finally keyed on this. Welcome to part 4 of my replay analysis, where I analyze over 66,000 replays sent to me by you. Today we'll be focusing on the vehicle class. So if you scroll down and we get to the big initial pie chart, the thing that jumps out at you immediately is, what on earth is going on with this purple? That's a lot. And why is it so much different than this purple? So we have EU on the left and we have NA on the right. The purple is SPGs. So based on his 66,000 games data, yeah, it's exactly, man. Exactly, Rigger. He is saying that on NA, his numbers show 64.67% of the games are played in SPGs.
Of course they are. Absolutely. Do you not notice there's 6 arty on every battle you're on?
Yeah. What's really going on here, and that's why numbers are fun, and it's why you should take all of these kinds of things, whether it's political or sports or a video game. It is 66.67% of the 29,475 games on... Sorry, 20,778 games on NA that he was sent.
Yes, by artillery players.
I guess. Whoever, right? So, you always have to understand. Now, I will immediately say, I don't know what the correct number is. There's a difference between possibility and probability. There is a possibility that on NA, on average, 64.67% of SPGs, or of games are played by SPG players or in SPGs. The probability of that is near zero.
Yeah. Although Rigger the Singing Tanker is so tired of the 10 versus 10 SPG games that he keeps getting in.
That's right.
And the one light.
So, what I don't quite understand, and I didn't read it all, so he may address it. He does seem to address stuff like this, and maybe he does, but man, he really gets into making charts for this, and I'm already like, it's a non-starter. What is the point of all of this if you know that your data set is probably skewed heavily for some reason right off the bat? Something isn't right here, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That's an impressive amount of effort, and we have a lot of stuff going on here. And like I said,
I appreciate that he's put a lot of effort in. Maybe he didn't look at the detail in detail, and that has come out of it, and he probably will look back on that and go, "Ooh, that might be wrong."
Well, there's several possibilities here. Number one is he just took the data and broke it down just to take the data and break it down.
Yeah.
Number two is, and I assume he knows a lot about the game because he does seem to. So, but the other possibility is he doesn't really play the game, and it's just data to him anyway. But I don't think that's the answer. I think the furthest possibility is he thinks it's the truth.
I guess I think it's somewhere along that level, because I would assume that, they never assume anything, but I would assume he plays the game. Why would he have a vested interest in creating data like that if he doesn't play the game? So you've got to say that he's probably going to revisit that at some point and go, oh, hang on a minute, that doesn't look quite right. You would hope.
There are some other numbers in here, I think, that are not as affected by the fact that you have claiming so many games are played in SPGs. He did break it down for length of battles by class. sounds to me like the sample size for the SPGs is much larger than everything else based on the initial pie chart. I don't know if that would appreciably skew the data, but it's a lot. So we get into here, it appears that the biggest chunk of that was he has a huge amount right here of USA SPGs. So
Right.
6,000 of his data points are somebody or somebodies who really liked US SPGs. So
Okay.
that definitely skews the data quite a bit, and especially if it's only one player or a few players. Then when you get into length of
Yeah.
time, that could still skew it. I mean, maybe he's a good player that
Yeah.
lasts a long time. So there's so many possibilities. I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying that's actually the truth there, but when you see something like that, for me anyway, that is such an outlier, you just immediately have to start asking questions about how we got to that.
Well, of course you do. And I mean, Sutak makes a very good point that given that there's a cap on the number of arties per battle, that particular statistic is impossible to achieve.
It's improbable. Yeah.
Improbable.
Yeah.
Possibly impossible. I mean, it would seriously. Given the game, impossible is not a bad word to use, in my opinion.
No, well, I'll give you one example where it is possible. The game has so few players playing that it creates 5v5s, or I guess it would have to be because
right, yeah,
there's
we
only
can go there, yeah.
you can have 3 arties, right? So it creates 5v5s, and you have 3 arty on a team. Now that's possible, but
Yeah.
highly improbable enough to essentially be impossible. So I am being pedantic and using semantics a bit here, but I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
It does seem impossible. You look at that, you're like, that. I don't think that's really possible.
Can you imagine that loaded into a game and looking across and going 5 versus 5 and 3 of them are artillery?
Were you playing when you could get 10 artillery on a team? I was.
Oh dear, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was the games played in Arty. But when he breaks that
Oh yes,
pie
no,
chart
way
down,
back when, you mean way back? Yes. I mean, I've got what now?
Yeah.
8 years in the game now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was theoretically possible. I don't remember seeing 10 versus 10, but I think I did see maybe 4 or 5 on each team.
I've seen 10v10s, man. It's pretty awesome.
No way.
Oh yeah. Oh
Platoon with tier 3s, like tanks. Oh dear. There was one game on Himmelsdorf that was like that, and I was in a light tank. And on Himmelsdorf, there was a wave. He had a very small tank to get inside one of the buildings in the middle of the area. So you were actually inside the building. You could not be shot. So I would get in on the enemy side. So I would be inside, running around, spotting everybody for my artillery mates. And they can't get at you.
Hey, let's re-attack this one more time because Bitwise brings up a good point. I hadn't really considered, but I think it is the same point overall for me. So the verbiage here, when you get this chart and you go, oh, class by region. What's the average percentage of a class played per region? Well, what Bitwise said is this is just a breakdown of what was being played by the player with the data that was sent in, which is yes. But the way it's presented makes it sound like it's, well, on NA, 64% of games are played by a SPG. What it really means by his data set is 64.67 of the NA games he has were played by an SPG player. When you come down here, 50 complete data, let's see, 64.67% of all battles from the NA region were played in SPGs. And that's just kind of unfortunate wording.
Yeah,
so again, but
it's the wording thing.
Again, the point is with numbers, you got to be really careful with what you're looking at and what you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So absolutely, this turns out that it is, and I don't know if he clears it up. I did read it. It never really. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's skewed a lot by having that many of the sample size of NA from an SPG.
Yeah. You wait till we load into the next battle as a platoon. We'll be faced by 7 SPGs. You'll be like, oh, we were wrong.
I don't know if Matchmaker can make a 5v5. It's a good point. I know it will make like 12s and 11s and 10s. I've seen those.
Yeah, I have seen slightly less than the
Yep.
15s.
I don't know what the I have seen 5v5s, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I have seen
yeah,
5v5s.
yeah.
I mean, not many.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Unless when they had the old SA server, I don't know if that's still running now, but when they had that, you could get like 15 versus 15, but of which 10 were bots. Or
Yeah.
11 were bots. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get that.
And I don't. I think you could probably just download. Well, if you look at if you look at some of the websites, they already have all that data, and
Yeah,
they take the
yeah.
entire API and they crunch it out, right? If I go to, I think, is it on? It has to be on Tank's Tomato or whatever it is. Tank stats. Let's see if we can find something.
While you're looking at that cough syrup, you've just made me giggle. So Arty players had time to fill in a survey, but nobody else did. Well, they don't use the keyboard much.
I don't see it on Tomato, but is this tanks.gg have it? There has to be. I'm sure there's somewhere where there's a very large data set that will get you much closer to the average number of battles.
TanksGG, if you just open the web page, will give you the current stats normality without putting in. If you can click on each server, it'll show you what is the average win rate.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just talking about something that breaks it down by class
by
played.
class. Oh, okay.
And the number of players and a percentage of that. I'm sure it's somewhere out there. I don't know exactly where it would be. Which makes breaking down stuff sent to you kind of interesting to me. I mean, what really is I don't know. Depends on what you're looking for, I suppose. And then that's another point, right? What am I looking What am I looking for in my numbers? Do I find what I'm looking for? Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
You've got to look at what are the motives behind it.
Oh, look, I found what I was looking for in the numbers. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I've proven my case.
I proved oh, the numbers. They told me what I was already looking for. Aren't those happy numbers? I like that. That's fun.
Happy numbers. Should we do T?
Let's do T.
Let's do T.
Teach us. Well, hold on a minute, because
Oh, okay.
Hold on. First thing I want to do is this, because I think it's appropriate. This is how to make sweet tea.
Oh, do not do this.
Yeah.
Do not do this.
Here we go.
Video on YouTube of somebody trying to show.
I hope the soap's not part of it. I don't know.
I just don't totally agree with the way he's doing it, so I'm gonna show you how.
Here, let me just go fast forward. He's gonna just get some tea. Is that a proper tea making device?
No.
That's not part of. Okay. What about?
No. Not unless you're on DayZ. You can have one of those in DayZ if you like.
Well, that's what you kill the zombie with. You conk him over the head with
you hit it with the pan.
Is that no string?
No, that's not. No. A pan on
What
a
about?
stove.
How about as a plastic
No.
sugar? Oh, that's a lot of sugar. Is that right? It's not right.
No.
Wait for it. Oh yeah.
No, yeah, that is syrup. That is not tea. That is syrup. That is.
All right, you get the point. You get the point. I'll stop messing with your tea making. All right.
Indeed, you will, sir.
I am done, sir. Take it away.
Okay. Tea. Colonials. Tea. First of all, tea does not come in a bag with a piece of string attached to it. I don't know what that is that you people drink over there, but it's not tea. It's definitely not tea. So don't go near those bags with string, because it doesn't happen. The only bag that is acceptable, the only bag that is, yeah, exactly, Sutek, that is acceptable in a rush when your tank's on the back burner and you need to move fast and you haven't got time to do proper tea, the only bag that's acceptable is either a Tetley's or a PG Tips bag of tea.
Okay.
That is acceptable, okay?
Okay.
Not with string, but Tetley or PG Tips. If Stickler was here, he would tell you. Right, so that's the bags out the way.
Otherwise, it's loose leaf in the little metal dude.
Getting there.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Okay.
here we have from a very fine English company, Fortnum & Masons,
Right.
a
Yeah.
brand new, unwrapped tin of loose leaf Earl Grey tea. Classic, look, classic.
Where's Earl Grey from? And is it Indian?
No,
No.
it is It is, well, okay. The history of Earl Grey, it was a blend of China and India that was created by Lady Grey, not the Earl of Grey, but she called it Earl Grey after her husband.
Right.
All right, so it's a blend.
Blend, okay.
So, yeah, it's a blend. However, there are other manufacturers, because we're like this on this channel. We won't advertise everybody. So here we have an open tin of loose tea. I'll show you. Look, it's loose tea.
Yeah.
Look, see that? Right. Okay. So that's your tea. That's real tea, not a bag with a piece of string on it.
And not a cup of sugar.
Lemon. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Stay away from sugar.
Okay.
Right. Bags with tea are for the trendy. It's the lemon zest tea, right? It doesn't happen in England, right? It only happens on the colonies. Okay. The other thing you need is one of these, ladies and gentlemen. This is called a teapot. As you can see, this teapot is absolutely mank.
Well seasoned.
Old tea, well seasoned. It does the job. The other thing you're going to need is a strainer. Okay, a strainer to strain the tea leaves out with. All right. And then the last thing you're going to need is a proper cup and saucer. All right. None of these mugs, none of these Guido mugs and all that lot. Proper cup and saucer.
And it has to be ceramic or whatever, right?
Well, no, it's bone china actually.
Oh, China. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Don't break it.
Bone china. Hear the ring. Okay. All right.
I think you mispronounced coffee.
You don't have sugar. Okay, there's no.
You can
sugar
make
in it
coffee this way,
whatsoever.
actually. You
No
can
sugar,
French
right?
press or strain coffee. You can do it this way. But anyway, we're on tea.
We're on tea.
We're on tea.
So what you have to do is your teapot is a living thing. Your teapot is a living thing, so you have to treat it as such. Okay.
Carl.
So what you do is you get your loose tea,
Okay.
and you get a silver spoon, not stainless steel, not plastic, a silver spoon. Okay.
Come
Silver
on.
spoon. No, silver spoon, as in this. If you can't afford to buy a silver spoon, I will buy you one. Okay, silver spoon. You do one.
That has to be purely for style points. Do you think that really has anything to do with the taste?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the metal interacts with the tea.
All right, got it. Silver spoon.
Stainless steel.
Yes, sir.
Stainless steel doesn't interact with the tea very well, but silver does.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So right. So what you do is you take the lid off your teapot. You boil your water. Once the water's finished boiling, you pour the boiling water into the empty teapot to warm the pot.
Query.
Okay? Yes?
Does it matter what you boil the water in?
Yes, it has to be in a kettle on the stove. It can't be in a microwave and it can't be in a pan. It has to be in the kettle on the stove. A proper
What's the kettle made of?
aluminum.
Aluminum. Okay, got it.
Yeah, aluminium kettle.
Okay.
Okay? Because the match of metals of silver and aluminium when it touches the tea gives a distinct taste. Yes, excuse me, I've got a cough. Right, so you put your hot water in, you swirl it around, you then empty it out. The teapot, this living thing is now warm to touch. Okay?
Wait, what? So you just got rid of some water?
Yeah.
But you still have some
Yeah.
in the kettle.
No, you don't put it back in the kettle. Yeah, you get your boiling water, you pour it in your teapot to make your teapot warm. It's all about the heat of the tea. Then you pour your water away, right?
Okay.
You then take one of these silver spoons and you take 1 tablespoon of loose tea per person who is going to have a cup of tea. So let's say we're making this for 4 people. You put 4 of these tablespoons of loose tea into your pot.
For 4 people.
For 4 people, 1 per person. The pot, being a living thing, requires its own spoonful. So you give it 1 for the pot. So that's 4.
Quinetic says you're trolling me. He's British.
No, I'm not. You stop it, Quinetic. You're a coffee drinker. I've seen you drinking coffee, you traitor. This is all about Boston Harbour. You should be on my side. Right. I've seen him swinging coffee on his
man.
Right.
He's probably Welsh.
Well, he probably is actually. He drinks water or something. I don't know what they drink in Wales. Camels, whatever. Anyway, why camels? I don't know. Sheep. Something to do with sheep. Anyway. So now you have your 4 people's spoons of tea plus an extra 1 for the pot in the pot. You then get your boiling water and fill your teapot up. Right. You put the lid on it and you leave it for at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes. Don't touch it. Don't stir it. Don't do anything. Right. After 5 minutes, you take your silver spoon. You take the lid off the teapot. And you give it 3 stirs clockwise.
Okay.
Okay? 3 stirs clockwise. Not anti-clockwise, clockwise. You then leave it for a further 2 to 3 minutes. That then means the tea has now reached its peak efficiency.
Peak efficiency. I like it.
Peak
All right.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Right. So, you can get your cup and saucer, bone china, as we've said, and you place your strainer on top of the cup and saucer, like so.
Right.
There's already tea in this one, but on top, right? That's why you got that little hook thing there. Right. Then you pour your tea through the strainer into your teacup, like so, until it fills. Do not add milk first. Okay, I'll tell you the reasons why. Back in the day...
Chad is awesome, by the way.
Back in the day, when bone china was very fragile, they used to add milk first to cool the hot tea going into the cup, so it didn't crack the bone china. Yeah. But nowadays, our bone china is of finer quality, so we can pour the tea direct into the cup. You then add what's called a dash of milk.
A dash
not a
of
splodge, not a gallon, it's a dash. A dash of milk, okay? Dash of milk. You take your other silver teaspoon, clockwise 3 times round, tap the side of the cup. That does 2 things. It stops the tea dripping onto your saucer from the teaspoon and also confirms you're drinking from bone china because it rings. See? Then you take your cup, you stick out your little finger, and you toast Her Majesty. God bless you, Lizzie. God bless you. There.
I feel like
is how you make tea, not in a bag with a string.
Yeah. Yeah. What's
Any
that?
questions?
What's that series that's set in England at the turn of the century? What is that called? I feel like Downton Abbey. I feel like that is from Downton Abbey. That particular process. That's how far. That's where Pilgrim would be happier back there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Send me back there.
With an Enfield rifle.
Yeah.
A big tall furry hat.
Yeah.
A red coat.
Yes.
That was awesome, man.
Shouting at the colonies.
That was awesome. That was well. Now we know. Now we know how to make a proper.
There you go. Little pinky out.
I am so tired right now of making that tea. Like for me, for my coffee, I stumble into the kitchen at 5 a.m. I pour water out of the tap into the holder of my Keurig. I fumble around for one plastic K-cup. I open up the receptacle. There's one in there already from yesterday. I pull that out and chuck it. I put the next K-cup in. I slap the lid down. I press 8 ounce strong go.
Yeah. See, this is your society. This is the I want it now, quick, man society.
And then I put it in the mug sent to me by my friend Pilgrim.
Yeah, well, all right. Yeah,
of many pilgrims.
Put coffee in it.
and I drink to the Royal Air Force and the Royal Army my approximately 3-minute tops coffee cup.
There you go. Quinn says it was so long it's nearly Monday. There you go, Wayne. I had my butler bring me a hot cup of tea in the morning.
I mean, that goes a long ways towards explaining how particular you are about tea.
Well, absolutely. So stop telling me you're drinking tea when you put a tea bag with a piece of string on it, because it ain't happening.
Yeah, but I really feel like if you were in the South and it was a hot afternoon and I gave you a giant glass of Southern sweet tea with ice, you would immediately fall in love with that.
Well, I can't obviously answer that because I've never done that. But what I will say is that when we were in the jungles of Malaya and it was 99% humidity and 55 degrees centigrade, we still drank hot tea.
Oh, I'll have a hot coffee as well. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that doesn't stop me from having hot coffee.
No, absolutely not.
But I'm telling you, man.
And we don't sweat. Englishmen don't sweat. We just drink tea in hot countries and don't sweat.
Yeah,
Our ladies glow, and we don't sweat.
you just keel over and die at when you got too hot. Yeah.
Yeah, we boil.
Oh man! All right, that was awesome. That was awesome. I think that's all I've got. Orange and Blue with the sub. Thank you. Welcome. Much appreciated. How are you? Had sweet tea in Texas when I was there at Bliss. Yep. When I go back home to Utah, we'll go out to dinner and I'll sit down. Like, what would you like to drink? I'm like, it's just automatic. I'll have a sweet tea, and they're like, okay, I'll bring you some tea and some sugar. I'm like, never mind. I don't want it. I'm not tossing sugar into tea. That's not sweet tea. That's putting sugar in your tea. When you sit down in the South and you get a sweet tea, you get a proper sweet tea, man.
Well, when I do eventually get over and visit you, you can do that for me, and I'll let you know right there and then whether it's a drink that I will fall in love with.
Oh, a Brute Boss with shots fired. There is no stronger odor than a North Yorkshire moving man.
Well, that's fucking yes. You can knock off the Yorkshires all you like, mate, because I'm from Lancashire, which is the opposite county. We love each other, really, but there's a history lesson.
What's that?
White and red roses. See? Yorkshire was the white rose of England, and Lancashire was the red rose. We had a war.
War of the Roses.
War of the Roses, and we combined the two to create England. Well, not create England, but to give the English dynasty its name, if you like. So there you go.
All Yorkshire men smell of quality and strength. So a Brute Boss is former military as well, and the rest of my military friends out there, and you as well will probably get this. I'm sure you will, actually. As you have moved around the world, as I have, the type of moving people you get is super interesting. So when we moved out of Okinawa, Japan, they were Japanese moving men, Okinawans.
Right. Yeah.
And they showed up, and they're generally not very, very large people. And we had this big, bedroom set, and it was upstairs.
Yes.
We're on base. It's on the upstairs thing, big bedroom set. It was all pine, but it was quite large and together all heavy. And the chest of drawers was big, and so all the other four are downstairs doing the thing. The dishes are all getting put away, and for the Japanese movers, fast and efficient is all I can say. I mean, they didn't say much, but man, did they get on it. And there was like one break, maybe. Well, this dude disappears upstairs, right? And they're busy doing the thing. Everything's being moved and done and stuff taken apart and all this stuff. PCSing out of Okinawa, come back to the States. And I hadn't been upstairs for a while, so I'm like, what? I'm going to go check on him. I don't know. It was maybe an hour. It was 2 at the most. I don't even think it was 2, though. I go up there. I walk into the bedroom, and it is done.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, as I come around the corner of the room, this dude, he's probably 50. He has one of the dressers on his back. And I'm dodging out of the way, and he's coming out the door. He's got these straps, and he's doing this. And it is a dresser that I would be hard-pressed to wrestle myself down the... And he's like, don't, and the stairs kind of curved, and he's like, don't. Out he goes, and he, leans down, squats down, and puts it on the truck and shoves it, and he goes back up. This one dude did that entire room faster than the rest of them.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
I was dumbfounded, man.
Absolutely amazing. I think that is a skill set I'd never get. Never get. You know what I mean? Doing that sort of stuff. I used to get. Here we go. We'll get somebody having a go at me now. Most of my movers were done by Yorkshiremen. They spent more time eating fish and chips and drinking cups of tea than they ever did moving my stuff, I can tell you. Here, by gum, lad, we'll move your house tomorrow. Yeah. We're having our fish and chips. Are you really, mate? And you need to get me shifted.
Well, that sounds like my experience leaving a Florida town, Niceville. The movers show up, and they're a motley crew in the South. A motley crew. And we're there probably 2 hours. A car pulls up, and this girl gets out. This woman gets out and starts screaming at one of the movers. Oh, we got a hype train going on. Thank you. Woo-hoo. Right on. What did we get there? We got the Guardians with 100 bits. Thank you. H.R. Raymond with 100 bits. We have the sub from Orange and Blue. Nice. Got a little hype train. So she rolls out, straight from the meth lab. And she is wearing this guy out, and he's trying to get away from her around my front yard. So we have a full-on domestic situation in my front yard with the mover and his girlfriend. And come to find out, it's the girlfriend, not the wife.
Oh, right, okay.
So we have the housing office at the base does that. So if you have an issue with your mover, you're supposed to call them. I called them. I'm like, yeah, you gotta sort this out. I have a domestic situation in my front yard with my movers. Pretty soon, he was, the supervisor grabbed him and go see the boss, and he a truck came up with the moving, and he got in and off they went. And I'm like, good Lord, dude.
You can't write this stuff, can you? When these things happen, you can't. Nobody can ever write this at all. It's just these things happen.
Germany, it was Turks.
Yeah,
Turks do a lot of the, at least back then. I assume it's the same thing, but in Germany they have a lot of their southern immigrant labor people are Turks.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah. Well, Germany had a lot of Turkish influx.
Yep.
And they, to do all the jobs that they didn't want to do when they were on the money.
Yeah, and no aspersions to Turks. I'm not saying it was them, but that's the one move from Germany to the U.S. and it could have happened in the U.S. I have no idea where, but that's the one move I had a lot of stuff stolen.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I did pretty well, but I lost a bunch of electronics and CDs and stuff on that move. Just disappeared.
Definitely.
Probably 3 boxes of expensive shit just gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my insurance company used to love me. Every time I moved, I would, I'd end up claiming for like just tons of stuff that just never arrived the other end.
We got lucky. We had a couple friends though. It's the standard. You open up, you get there, and here they come with your chest of drawers or something, and it's 4 pieces, and they're like, here's your
here's your 4 pieces.
They're like, what am I supposed to do? What the hell? It looked like King Kong grabbed it and smashed it into the Empire State Building. It's like, holy crap! How did you even break it that much? I can't even comprehend the amount of violence it took to do that to that thing.
Dear, oh dear. Oh, good fun. The one thing we used to take in the car with us, and I'll come back to tea making now. The one thing we used to take with us was the kettle and all the makings to make tea. That never went with the movers.
Oh, right. So when when you're sitting in your empty apartment or house or whatever, all around you can go to the stove and make, absolutely, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you did that, right? You're like, all right, what's the minimum thing I need for the Advon so when I get into my house, I can camp in my own house until my shit shows up.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got to be done. Got to be done. Oh, bless. In fact, I tell you what, when I moved back from Hong Kong, that was probably the most, similar to the Japanese, the best move I had. And they wrapped all because I bought a lot of...
out of where? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought a lot of bone china from Hong Kong back with me. I've still got it in the shed somewhere, still wrapped in its original wrapping. Those guys wrapped it so well that not a single piece got broken, and that went all the way from Hong Kong back to the UK.
That was the Japanese move. It was crazy. As we were unloading it, it was like, is there anything in the middle of this packet? You get down there, it's like this little doodad. You're like, holy crap.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rigger. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Polish guys there's a lot of Polish laborers as well in Germany now. 100%.
How do we get this hype train to get to 100% then?
People gotta get hyped. They gotta get hyped. I don't know.
If I do, how many bits would take it to 100%?
Well, I think if you put about 60,000 bits in there, definitely would hype. That'd be so much hype.
Right, I can only do. Look, the maximum I can do is 25,000 bits, and that's like
no. That was a joke. Do not do that.
I'm not spending that much on your bits.
You have no idea what my bits are worth.
Oh well, they're not worth 300 quid, my friend.
290.
Well, all right then.
Bought my wife a China set in Japan. Sent it to. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Orange and Blue made it happen.
What a man.
Made it happen.
What a man.
Got one to Attack Crows, Winterlander, Guardians. Oh, Guardian's here. What's happening, Guardian? He didn't say hi. Check out Guardian the Slow Link. Hey, is your I don't know if he's listening. Is your charity stream still going, or did you guys already do that? Was that you? I can't remember. I thought there was a charity going on. Could be wrong. I might be thinking Old Man the Wise. I'm not sure. Boyfriend material. Okay. Rieger the singing tanker came up with one as well. Did say hi, but he was very unforgettable. Oh, thanks, guys. You guys rock. Yeah, so there you go. The move.
Have I got a competition? Is that what you're going to ask me now?
I was going to ask that. That's a good point. What is your competition, my friends?
Well,
my friend.
The competition.
Oh,
is
cough syrup. Thank you.
Yeah, cough syrup.
Thank
50
you.
bits. Thank you. The tea talk got him excited. Bless him. In fact, there was a comment earlier on which I meant to actually just mention. Somebody said there is a Japanese tea ceremony that is actually shorter than the tea talk that I just gave.
Probably. Yeah, and you know how ritualistic those are. You turned a 2-hour stream into 3 with that.
Okay.
No, that was awesome, man. All right, what's the competition?
Colonials know how to do it now, eh?
Yeah.
Not that you will do it, but
yeah.
Yeah, you'll chuck it in the harbour as usual. Or with your tea bag with a string. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, competition time. And a very special one because this is Easter. So I've decided to I've decided to go
7 years 4 was shorter. All right.
So yeah, Sutek it is. So the competition this week is for 1,000 gold.
Ooh.
And this unopened brand new tin of Earl Grey classic tea.
Oh wow.
All yours for the winner. Okay, it's that and 1,000 gold. Right, that's if you want me to send it to you, but that's fine. Right, are you ready? Have you got your wiki fingers going? Because the competition is on for 1,000 gold. Let's go.
I'm going to do it without thumbs.
Which is what you normally do anyway.
Yeah.
You're thumbless.
Well, that's going to be hard to move the mouse with that. I may have overcommitted. All right, go ahead.
Right, it is only a 2-part question for the 1,000 gold and the loose Fortnum & Mason's Earl Grey tea. Okay, 1,000 gold with the tea. 2-part question. Here we are. Part 1. Oh, by the way, I need both answers together, guys, as per usual, the rules. Don't give me one answer, then send me another answer later on. It's got to be both answers together. Wiki fingers going.
All right,
Here we are.
I got Google it without a thumb.
Are you ready? You got Google going.
Without a thumb.
Their first question is, which tank survived an atomic blast of 9.1 kilotons from 460 meters away and stayed in service for another 23 years? Okay, that's part 1, albeit it was still glowing. But anyway, it stayed in service for another 23 years. So which tank? What was the tank? So I need the name of the tank. That's part 1. Part 2. Well, okay. What was and how and what tanks were involved? The longest tank-to-tank kill in history. The longest tank-to-tank kill in history. When was it? What was it? Give me all the details. And what was the distance between the tanks? All right, so 2-part question. Do you want me to repeat? Was it called?
No. That's crazy. Longest tank kill. Oh,
longest tank kill in history. And I need both answers together. I can't have one answer then another answer, so it's got to be both together. Meldeeth is so close, but you haven't got the right distance. Come on, guys. Get the right distance and it's a winner. There's the clue. No. Still not right, orange and blue. Very close. Get the distance right.
That distance.
Stoic, a little bit more than that. There we go. That's the clues, guys.
That distance seemed right to me.
Nope. Excuse me, did I cough on air then? Sorry. Right. Both answers together. Come on, you know the rules. The distance has to be right. There we go. Meldeeth has got it. Meldeeth has the answer.
Well, which one's 50? Oh, we leveled too high.
Yeah.
Nice. Hold on a minute. How did we
You're right. Centurion.
Where
Mark
does
III.
5100 come from? I'm looking at Wikipedia and it says
Well, you're on the wrong wiki. You've got to be on Pilgrim's wiki. Right, 5,100 metres is the distance, and the Centurion Mark III, an Australian Centurion Mark III nonetheless, was the tank that survived an atomic explosion from 460 metres away. It was nicknamed the Atomic Tank for 23 years after that because it glowed in the dark.
I think there's some controversy on this on this kill shot.
5-1. 5-1. 5,100 metres.
I see. Well, please tell me you didn't get it from Reddit.
No. I've got it from Pilgrim's Wiki.
Because specialops.org. What does this say?
It was indeed. It was in Iraq. It was a Challenger, and it took out an Iraqi T-62 from 5,100 metres away. I know. I was there.
Yeah, the Spec Ops magazine says 51. Well, the wiki is talking about the same engagement. Says 4,100. That's interesting.
Yeah, but wiki is populated by people putting information in, as opposed to facts. Seaplane, you put that joke in 3 times. It was funny the first time. Who dropped the atom bomb? I don't know. CEO of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards. In fact, it was. Well done, sir. Meldeth, you have won the 1,000 gold and the tin of Earl Grey Classic Tea. There you go.
I found a third range. It's funny that you've got an article that says in one paragraph says 5,100, and another paragraph says 4,700, and the wiki says 4,001. I think there's some controversy here. It was a Challenger, though.
There you go. It was a challenge against T-62.
Yeah.
That's how, that's how many miles I can walk to make the tea. 5,100 meters.
Oh, I got an emote. Choo choo. What is that? Hype fail. What? Hype fail? I got a hype. Got a hype fail emoji. Emote,
cool. Whatever that is. Never mind. We did the first hype because thank you, Orange and Blue.
Right.
Orange and Blue says that's out of render range. It's a lie.
Well, it was a blind shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a blind shot.
It clearly was using hacks or mods or cheats.
It's a hack. Yeah, it's a distance hack. A range. Meldith, if you want me to send this to you, I will. But obviously, you're going to have to divulge to me in a whisper where to send it to. I have no problem sending it. Don't worry about that. It's just obviously it will be an address that you feel safe enough to give to me to send, and I promise you I won't send you anything else other than tea.
C player, that's outstanding. The man who created autocorrect has died. May he restaurant in peace. That's excellent.
Brilliant.
Excellent. It is rigged, Wayne. It is. Staying out of politics and whatnot, do you think the days of heavy armor are numbered? Man, that is a great question, Orange and Blue. I have been thinking about that as I have watched this whole thing.
Situational, I think. Now.
It is. Yeah, I think it is.
Can I go into depth with this?
Well, I think let me just say this. I think a lot of the Russians' problems with what's going on is their leadership and tactics, vice the equipment.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what you were about to say, but that.
And I was about to say, if you look at NATO tactics, it's combined forces. So you have armored infantry with the tanks, with air power, with artillery, all working together and communicating. Whereas this looks like it's just send a tank battalion in and just let.
But it has to be said, the base of his question is the drone thing, and I don't know what the fix to that is because that's a tough one, man. Because you're talking about very small, difficult to see or intercept or avoid drones that are for the little warhead that's on them are relatively small, but they're going into the top of the armor.
Yeah. Most of them carry dual warheads anyway, so whatever
or they're just spotting. They're just spotting for precision weapons that are standoff from a long ways away, and now you just got them, right? You just.
Well, you've got the old grid square busters. You've got MLRS. So if you've got a tank battalion on the move and it gets spotted, MLRS will take the grid square out. Just disappears off the map.
Yeah.
So
So I guess my personal opinion is I don't think it's the death of heavy armor. It's just you have to use it correctly. It's still a very powerful machine. I mean, you talk about a tank that's able to take out some stuff at relatively close range. If you can keep it from getting wiped out by drones and artillery and air power, which no small feat,
No.
it is to some extent exactly why the U.S. Marines got rid of their heavy armor, and they've gone with lighter, faster armor.
Yeah.
But I still think you need the big boys.
I do feel that tanks are a force multiplier anyway, even if they are that vulnerable to that type of tactics.
Because they talked about it in Iraq, especially to some extent Afghanistan, but Afghanistan's topography does not favor tanks. Iraq's did, and then you start talking about urban stuff, but they still used them. You just had to be careful. You had to keep it from getting trapped. But the Syrians and the Russians used them in homes in Syria, supported by infantry and protected. They're very powerful because they can neutralize strong points much better than an infantry can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's all about combination of forces, isn't it? It's about having that. Dare I say, even with the Navy, if they're close enough, if you're close enough to the shoreline, you'll have Navy, with their 16-inch guns giving you support as well. So
I'll tell you the one that was
interaction.
I'll tell you the one video that was really eye-opening to me was supposedly video of I think it was a Russian. They're broken into battalion combat teams or something. I can't remember what they call them, but they're fighting large fighting units of battalion. But anyway, it was a headquarters, and it was a drone, and they found him in a forest back in a little clearing area. You could see the talks and the various communications and all the trucks and stuff, and it just started getting whacked.
Yeah.
Battalion tactical groups. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's how they're losing colonels and generals and stuff, because now in the past 3 or 4 miles back you could camo up and be pretty well hidden, but.
Yeah.
And yes, if air power found you, that'd be bad. But these are drones that there's many of them, and they're everywhere, and they're holy cow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole tactics of war has changed dramatically since I left. I mean, I left in 2006, I think. And the world just changed. The tactics, the battle tactics, the requirements, everything's changed beyond.
Well, I think Rieger has a good point right there. And I well, now we just.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And I've said this before that the Russians aren't stupid. They will learn and they will adapt. And as this thing drags on, and I'm not cheering for that, I'm just saying, as a matter of fact, in history, they'll get better at what they're doing, whether it's in time for them to save face or whatever. Frankly, it'd be better if they just left for everybody.
Yeah.
But from a historical or military standpoint, they'll learn. They can't help but learn. They're getting their junk kicked in.
You can't say every single Russian tactician, general, whatever, is an idiot. They will learn from it. They will, but whether they are then resourced to rebuild and tactically rejig is a different matter.
Right.
It's a different matter. They might want to, but they might not get resourced to do that. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, when you start talking the EA environment, the ELINT and signals environment and whatnot, it gets really crazy. There's a lot of possibilities with that.
Oh yeah.
So, yep. Hopefully it ends soon. That's the bottom line for me. Is it would be great if that all would stop happening.
Like tomorrow, it needs to happen.
Yesterday.
Tomorrow, doesn't it? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, not cool. All right, I think that's all we've got, man. You got anything else for the people?
No, I've just whispered Melody, so hopefully he'll get through to me at some point. But I am done, sir, with my tea making.
Yeah, Rieger, I will touch on that. Yes, so I've talked about this a little bit in the past. What the U.S. is really good at right now is small unit tactics and anti-terrorism. And to a large extent, combined arms in using air power in permissive environments.
Yeah.
And the Russians are currently doing an OT&E on high order warfare, relatively anyway.
Yeah.
So one of the ways you learn with that is you take your lumps. And, they're making a big deal about these colonels and generals that are dying. What happens is the good ones continue right? You're getting
Yeah,
rid of the
exactly.
politicians and the
Yeah.
people put there by knowing people, and pretty soon what you have is the guys who know what they're doing, and that's one of the reasons that you get better. But anyway, let's get off of that subject. Let's talk a little bit about peace and say Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter, everybody. Yes, enjoy your chocolate eggs.
And if Easter's not your thing, then happy whatever. Have a nice
Whatever
Sunday.
it is.
Appreciate you guys coming by. Thanks for the hype train. You guys rock. That's all I've got. Friday's my next stream. I will pop up on one if I can. Earlier, I don't know yet, but definitely on Friday. That's all I've got from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's all that Pilgrim has from the correct side of the Atlantic.
See you, fellas.